day. Show me the way, one day at a time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and let's talk live. Kenneka, I have spoken. All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I'm here, I am live, and I am going to talk about some things, peoples. Peoples, Kenneka, I have spoken. You guys come on in. You guys come on in. You guys come on in, for there's so much to talk about, peoples. You guys come on in. Peoples, I am here and I am back live, and I am here to talk about the Kenneka Jenkins case. I'm here and I'm back, peoples. And I'm here to speak some things. I'm here to give you my observation. I'm here to tell you what I think, what I believe, and what I know. I'm not here to go and bolster other people's claims and things. I'm here to give you that of what I have researched myself. I'm here to express in great detail, peoples, that of my findings as it pertains to the Kenneka Jenkins case. Now, I have sat back, I have listened, I have watched, and I have learned. And one thing that I have learned throughout all of the many lives that the people are putting out, everybody is pretty much sharing the same thing over and over and over again. But in doing so, people's, they're not making any sense as to the various things that they are saying, people's. They're not making sense of the various things that they're saying, because see, one thing is that they're saying Kenneka was in the halls, walking the halls and stuff, and there was people that was following behind her and around her in X, Y, and Z. Well, people, if that be the case, well, then my question is simple. Why didn't the people say anything? The people who have supposedly seen others in the halls, why didn't no one ever chime on? Why? Well, because it didn't happen in the manner to which they stated. That's why no one has ever chimed out, peoples. That's why no one has ever chimed out, because the things that the people say, it didn't happen. Now, I've seen people go and analyze all of this video footage and telling you that there's cameras on the inside, telling you there's cameras on the outside, and, doing all of this analytical madness. But at the end of the day, who cares about the cameras and where the cameras were and whatnot? Because, see, the bottom line is simply this: it doesn't matter how many cameras Crown Plaza had. The bottom line is, where was the cameras that supposedly had caught Kenneka Jenkins, peoples? That is my question. Where is the cameras that supposedly had caught Kenneka Jenkins? You never seen it. So the people can go over and over again the video footage and state this and that and the other and say this and that and the other, but what difference does it make, peoples? Because the bottom line is simply this: if she is not on the cameras, well, then what is it that the people have to say? She's not on the cameras, right? She's not caught on any of the surveillance video footage other than that of what they gave you, peoples. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the thing is, I'm not so much worried or concerned about what other people's theories is, because that's all it is. It's just theories. And people speak with such power and conviction that they literally know what happened to Kenneka, but yet they can't even get on the live to tell you exactly what happened to Kenneka. I mean, my thing is this: if you really know what happened to Kenneka, well, come to the live and tell us what happened to Kenneka. You know, you don't have to convince me. Just come to the live. Come to the live and tell the people unequivocally and undeniably your stance as to what you believe happened to Kenneka. That's it. That's it. That's all. I'm not here to argue, fuss and fight and feud with people. I'm just not going to do it, peoples. You have your beliefs and I have my beliefs. You have your theories and I have my theories. And I'm going to stand upon that of what I believe. I'm going to stand upon that of what I have researched. I'm going to stand upon that of what I know. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to stand up on that, peoples. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it really doesn't matter what anybody else in this community tell Edward Joseph. Edward Joseph is going to stand upon that of what he believes. Is that all right, peoples? So it ain't no need in getting mad and getting upset and getting angry and getting bent out of shape and stuff, because the bottom line is, you have your theory and I have mine. And as long as I'm running my live, as long as I'm paying the bill for StreamYard, as long as I'm paying the bill for my internet service, as long as I am doing my lives and things, I'm going to express what I believe. Bottom line, period. And if that doesn't really work with anybody, or if anybody, feels some type of way and stuff, well, then tough titty. Because see, right now, people, I'm at the point now. I really don't give a fuck what you all think. Bottom line, I'm just at that point. Because see, the thing here, I have people telling me that you guys know all about this case, but yet you guys never can come onto the live. You guys can never come and speak to the people. So it ain't no need in telling me what you think that you know or what you know, because my thing is, if you can't come to the live, well, then ain't no need in saying anything to me. Because I at this point now, I really don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from nobody, period. End of story, that's it. I had enough of all the conspiracies and all of the this and that and the other and where Kenneka was and so on and so forth. You Negroes do not have no evidence. You Negroes do not have no proof whatsoever to back up your claim. Because if you did, then you would be here and you would be debunking TM in the various things that she said, in the various things that she did, in the various things that had transpired in this case. A lot of people want to say that Zach got killed because of Kenneka. Zach did not get killed because of Kenneka. And let me repeat that again. Zach Stoner did not get killed because of Kenneka. Okay? Zach Stoner did not solve the Kenneka Jenkins case. The various things that happened to Kenneka had nothing to do with Zach Stoner. Is that all right, peoples? So just because Zach had interviewed the kids do not mean a hill of beans. Because see, people, if you look at the overall picture of the Kenneka Jenkins case, you got to ask yourself the question, And then you got to ask yourself why and what was the interior motive of TM. That is the key right there. Because if you analyze this whole case, peoples, if you analyze this whole case, and I've been listening to other content creators, not in its entirety, but I've been listening to bits and pieces and stuff. And I know some of you have been going on to different channels and stuff, you know. Some of you who comes to my channel, you've been watching other content creators and you've been chiming out in different things and stuff. I see you. And then that's a good thing, people. That is a wonderful thing, you know. Now, my thing is simply this: whether you support my channel or not, it's fine with me. You know, I had enough of trying to cater to people and things of that nature. You know, I'm not here to try to pamper people, but I got tired of catering to people. And so, however you feel or whatever you feel, if you want to stay, if you want to leave, you know, whatever you want to do and stuff, I'm fine because I'm good just by myself. You know, I'm tired of having to deal with people who is just all in their feelings, who's all the time, you know, just can't get along with people and things. All the time, got something to say and this and that and the other. I'm done. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? So I'm done. I'm not here to make friends, but if I make enemies, well then damn it, I just make enemies. I don't give a fuck right now, no more. You know, I mean, if we're cool, we're cool, and if we're not, we're not. You know, that's fine. You know what that old saying is. See ya, and I don't want to be ya. But if the back door hits you where the light don't shine, well then that's fine. Which basically is saying you can kiss my ass. That's basically what it's saying. You know, you can just kiss my ass. I really don't care. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? I'm at the point now. I really don't give two rats asses. Okay, so that's just how I feel. So I'm going to get in here, peoples, and I'm going to show you a couple of different lives and stuff that you know um, I have watched. And I'm going to give you my take upon it. You know, I'm going to give you what my belief is based on what they're saying. And we're going to analyze this in such a way, people, because for the last couple of days, you know, I've been here and I've just been doing my thing. I've been sitting back, I've been watching, I've been listening. Not in its entirety, people's, but you know, I've been keeping an eyeball out upon certain things and whatnot. Yeah. Instead of coming to you with a narrative, and instead of coming to you with what my theory is or what my perception is and things, I'm just going to come and ask questions. And I'm going to come and I'm going to challenge the people to think in a very critical and more logical and analytical manner. Something that you know, not other YouTubers is doing. Because see, everybody wants to analyze the surveillance video footage, which what are you spending 20 years analyzing the surveillance video footage for? What are you spending 20 years looking at cameras all over the establishment when all of those cameras that's all over the establishment never captured Kenneka Jenkins in it. You see what I'm saying, peoples? You know, I've seen content creators that really highlights and yellow ink and breaks down and all like this and analyzing every little conceivable thing that's in the establishment. But for what? Because if she wasn't there, she wasn't there. And if she was there, well, where's the video footage? That's all that I'm saying. You know, you got to really break it down in the manner to which you should, and not too many people is doing that. And where I'm coming from is people think critically, think logically in things. So it was stated that Kenneka Jenkins was left at a party at the Crown Plaza Hotel. And so you had so many different theories. Everybody was saying that, you know, there was people in the halls with her, that the employees had did something to her, you know, that she was over here and over there, that she wandered the halls for hours and stuff, or some employees was with her for hours and things of that nature and stuff. But just ask yourself the question, why? Why? Why is it that they have surveillance video footage in every conceivable angle in that establishment, um, and all of that video footage, a young lady was supposed to be walking straight to a freezer. She walked all over that establishment, upper level, lower level, everywhere and things, and down. All of a sudden, she just happens to walk into a kitchen and walk herself directly into a freezer. Now, TM had said that, well, you know, there was cameras over a freezer. Okay, so whether the cameras is over a freezer or not, and when we look at the surveillance video footage, we see a young lady who's walking directly in the trajectory of a freezer. You got a kitchen in there, you know. The person is not bouncing all over the countertops. You know, you got countertops that's in the person's way. You know, you got a big kitchen and so many areas to where that person could have walked. But when the person walked in that particular kitchen, they walked straight back directly into a freezer. Supposedly, that's the narrative. When you analyze that video footage that supposedly had depicted Kenneka walking herself directly into a freezer, peoples, it's funny how, you know, when the person goes back there and walks in the direction of the freezer, the video cuts out. The video just happens, just all of a sudden happens to cut out, and voila, there's no more video footage up until the time to when the beverage manager was supposed to walk back there and find this young lady lying deceased in a freezer. Now, people, if any of you believe that madness, well, then you got to be stone crazy. You really do. You have to be stone crazy. And if you believe that madness, yes, I'm going to be the first to call you crazy. I'm going to be the first to call you stupid. I'm going to be the first to call you ignorant and dumb. Just plain and simple. I'm not going to mix my words and stuff because that is the most stupidest thing that I have ever heard in all of my life. And no matter how you twist it and turn it and things, this is the narrative that Teresa Martin had endorsed. So by her taking the money, she basically said that Kenneka killed herself. No matter how you slice it and dice it, no matter how you look at it, Teresa Martin, by taking the money, pretty much stated people's unequivocally and undeniably that Kenneka killed herself. Because basically what she's saying is that she endorses the narrative of what the Crown Plaza had stated about her supposed child. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's the point that people are missing. People are missing the point that Teresa Martin taking the money because she believed that Kenneka took her own life. Okay, that's basically in a nutshell what she's saying. Okay, and nobody is literally speaking about that. Everybody wants to analyze this makeshift video that really doesn't portray anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it leaves wide speculation and gaps. The kids, they don't talk. But when they do talk, it ain't nothing that can really lead into anything because everything is so sporadic, erratic, and it's conjectionary. It doesn't make no sense, peoples. All of the madness that these kids have spoken, all of their testimonies and everything that they have spoken, it doesn't bring validity to nothing. Really, to be honest with you. You know? So then it leads to the question, peoples, who can you believe? Is there any trustworthy source in this particular case that you can believe? The case files is suspect. And when you analyze the case files, what is the case files? You know, the case files ain't nothing but a bunch of statements that people made that cannot hold weight in a court of law. Period. You know, I mean, think about it. The case files is nothing but statements that people made that cannot hold weight in a court of law. It ain't nothing but narratives. And that's all that it is. It ain't nothing but a conglomerate of statements that people made that can never hold up in court. Nothing was ever taken under oath. None of the statements was ever taken under oath. So when it's all said and done, people, none of that stuff can ever be used in a court of law because it's not ever validated. None of the statements is validated. So when people say reference the case files, well, I mean, we can reference the case files all day long, but what is the case files is going to tell us? Because I mean, it's all left up to interpretation. That's all it is. That's all the case files is. It ain't nothing but a bunch of statements put together to try to tell a story. And then what story is it telling? Because nothing makes sense. Absolutely nothing. It's like it's like a story woven together. Now, if the people ever wanted to have any type of validity within this case, well, then they should have had these people come under oath, under penalty of perjury. You know, and then they should have had these people swear under penalty of perjury that the statements is true and it's nothing but the truth. So help them God. Give your statement and then, go on from there. But that didn't happen. It didn't happen. All of these statements was just some summation of one's proclamation. That's all that it is. So save me the headache when the people say, "Oh, well, we did research and we did this, we did that." Well, in my eyes, you haven't did shit. What research have you done? Because all of the research that these people supposedly had claimed to have done and stuff didn't make no difference in the case. I mean, the case is still unsolved. The girl is still dead, and nobody knows how she died. Nobody knows how she got into the freezer. Nobody can ever really put her into the hallways. You got a bunch of clips that tells a story, and everybody continue to keep playing the clips over and over and over again, but they got cameras all over the establishment. But it's funny how all of this running video and all you get is clips. Why are you getting clips, peoples? Because it's a story that they gave you that they wanted you to see, and they wanted you to adapt, and they wanted you to adopt the story, and that's what many of you have done for all of these many years. You adapted and you adopted the story that they gave you, and then you formulate your narrative, your theories, and stuff around the video footage. Now you want to come with a hypothesis that Kenneka supposedly had walked the halls of that establishment at a certain time. But then when you go to try to analyze that and things, well, it doesn't fit with anything. The time doesn't fit with the narrative that they gave you. Because see, the thing is, people, and this is what I can't not get not no YouTuber to stand up on, because it goes against the various things that they're saying. Well, when you want to analyze this case, peoples, you got to put things in perspective. One, they said that Kenneka came at the establishment at 1:13 on September the 9th, the morning of September the 9th, 1:13 in the morning. And then by 3:30, Kenneka is supposedly seen walking the halls of that establishment. Okay, so from 1:13 to 3:30, you got TY's live that's supposed to have one on. You got Irene's live that's supposed to have one on. You got Kenneka that was supposed to have been upstairs on the 11th floor based upon the testimony of what that lady gave to TM, because she said that I've seen your daughter with a couple of guys and a couple of girls on the 11th floor. And so let's go up there to see if she's there. The crazy part about it is TM was supposed to have called the establishment at 2:30, and Kenneka was supposed to have text Lenore at a certain time. Well, how all of this have happened, and then the kicker is that the kids was supposed to have, based upon what Lenora had said, brought TM's car back to her house at 4:30 something. Well, if that be the case, peoples, well then who drove the car back? Because what Kenneka was still missing at that time, right? But according to the video footage, the kids didn't leave at no 4:30. The kids were still there at 4:30. So how is it that Lenore could have conveniently got the narrative wrong or the time wrong when, based upon the video footage, the kids are still there at the establishment? But see, the thing is, people's, the timeline that the people give of Kenneka supposedly be walking the halls of that establishment and stuff, it doesn't fit with anything, because the thing is, you got to have TY's live, you got to have Irene's live going on, and then you got to have Kenneka in the halls. Do you understand what I'm saying? Well, but nobody can justify the times that Kenneka was supposed to have been walking the halls of that establishment. But then the real kicker is this. TM's own attorney, Jeffrey Feiger, had clearly told you, peoples, unequivocally and undeniably, that Kenneka was never identified or found wandering the halls of that establishment on the morning of September the 9th, 2017. That's what Jeffrey Feiger said. So, with that being the case, peoples, then the question becomes, who was the young lady who was supposed to have been walking the halls of that establishment? And the crazy part about it is, none of you YouTubers that's making all of these lives and continue to keep spreading all of these conspiracy theories and things, and then all of you backdoor people who want to continue, you can keep saying that you got proof, you got evidence of this and that and the other, but yet you don't want to show your face in the place, but yet you want to fill my ears with all of your theories and things, which I'm basically sick of. You know, you can't even make sense of it, because you can't even debunk TM's own attorney, because TM's own attorney had told you Kenneka Jenkins never walked the halls of that establishment on the morning of September the 9th, 2017. Then the autopsy was supposed to have been done, and the autopsy doesn't even match Kenneka Jenkins' height or weight. Now, I hear a YouTuber tells me, oh, well, you know, that can just be a little error and things like that. And so, well, you know, it's funny how you can just dismiss things. So every other part of the case files is supposed to be intact, but yet the doctor is supposed to have missed this critical piece of evidence, because the evidence really doesn't match what the person's actual height and weight is, or the description. So you can just easily just glance and just brush that away. Oh yeah, you know, well, how do we know that she was 5'7", 135 pounds? Because that was the description that was given. I mean, it had to be on her ID, right? So what? So where's Kenneka's ID? Why isn't it that every time that we want to try to verify who Kenneka is, We cannot see no paperwork whatsoever. No school paperwork from grade school to high school, nothing with her handwriting on. We have never seen Kenneka Jenkins' handwriting. No letters that she's written. Nothing. Nothing. We have absolutely nothing, but yet we're supposed to take for face value that this young lady's name is Kenneka and that she came out of TM's P. But see, it's amazing to me, people's how many of you who live in Chicago, y'all all the time thinking just because you live in Chicago, what does that mean to Edward Joseph? What does that mean to me? You may know the hood and things, but knowing the hood doesn't mean shit to me. You may know people in the hood. You may know a few people that probably knew Kenneka, but what does that mean to Edward Joseph? It don't mean shit to me because you just knowing the hood doesn't give you clout status. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just because you from Chicago don't mean shit to me. Just because you grow up with a couple of people that may know her don't mean shit to me. Well, what does that mean? You ain't validated nothing. You ain't shown nothing. You ain't expressed nothing. You haven't give validity out of your stupidity. You didn't do anything other than just run your mouth and make lives and things and, you know, talk about this and that and the other. I mean, goddamn, really, people, how many people is going to be fucking up with Kenneka? I mean, we had France Cave name thrown out there. We had the beverage manager name thrown out there. We had Monifa, Shamaya, and Irene's name thrown out there. We got the maintenance guy name thrown out there. We got a guy that's supposed to be walking the halls in a gray hoodie out there. But did you ever see anybody in a gray hoodie? I just watched a live that said the guy, he was supposed to have been a janitor. His father was supposed to have been a janitor and stuff. And he was at the establishment and he was tiptoeing around in the establishment and stuff. And he saw several guys, stalking Kenneka. Well, why didn't he say anything? I mean, all of these conspiracy theories, all of these people who were supposed to have handled Kenneka, and nobody says nothing. It is amazing to me, peoples, how you can be at an establishment and a girl was supposed to be walking some halls and nobody's seen anything, nobody heard anything, and nobody said anything. But yet you got all of these cameras that was supposed to have captured all of these things at the establishment, and all we have is just clips. Well, first and foremost, remember they said that she was never captured on video footage. There was no video footage of her ever walking the halls. And then that changed, and then they said, "Oh well, yeah, we got video footage, but it's just only certain areas. In certain areas, the cameras wasn't working." Well, people, that is the most stupidest thing that I have ever heard. You got a 4 to 5-star hotel, supposedly, and the Crown Plaza ain't all of that in a cup of tea, peoples. But see, the thing is, it's so convenient that video footage ain't even showing everything. You got people that was at the establishment that ain't even on camera. You got King Rob and Chosen King and all of these people that was at the establishment, but we've seen pictures of them. We've seen clips of them on video footage, but we don't see them on video footage. We've seen them there. We've seen them there, peoples. But in the beginning, a lot video footage came out and stuff. We seen it. A lot of you people seen it and things. But where is the video footage now? And why aren't people saying anything? And why are people are denying that they ever been at the Crown Plaza when you know you've been there? Well, because the bottom line is shit didn't happen on the days that they proclaim. Period. That's just the bottom line. Then you got T Slut sitting around here saying that, oh well, yeah, I told you guys about the 7. Bitch, you ain't told nobody about the goddamn 7. So stop your lying. You don't want me to embarrass your ass, Mel. So Slay, shut the fuck up, Mel, and stop lying before I really get on your ass again and expose you for the nefarious bullshit that you've been saying. And I want your buddy to come back cussing his eyes. I want him to come back. I want him to start chiming out and stuff because, see, you suckers had said, and he said, one thing about a nigga like me would tear your case apart. Shemaya's mother came to the establishment the morning of the night at 4:15 in the morning. Shemaya's mother was at the establishment at 4:15 in the morning. And then Slut had said, and the key thing is and stuff. And I'm kind of like, bitch and suckers, sit your fucking ass down and shut the fuck up because you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because at the time to when you guys are proclaiming Shemaya and her mother is at the goddamn establishment at the police department and stuff on the morning of the night, is the same fucking day that the supposed Kenneka Jenkins had been roaming the halls of that establishment. So help me to make that make sense. So even the various things that you guys are saying doesn't even make no sense. You know? It doesn't make no sense. So you guys unwittingly just debunked yourself. You literally made yourself look so goddamn stupid, and you debunked yourself with the narrative that you put out there. Now, see, peoples, I ain't got to make it up because I got the audio version of what they said. I got the live. And then you got Slut sitting up here saying all of these different things about Kenneka was supposed to be at the Marriott and shit like that and stuff, but she could not produce not one shred of evidence that Kenneka Jenkins ever stepped foot at the Marriott. But just like, you know, a good persuader, she persuaded a lot of you people within this community to believe that bullshit. And I told your asses, don't come to my live and don't come to my live with that bullshit, you know, because if you ever come to my live talking that bullshit and nonsense, I'm gonna block your ass. Because see, the thing is, peoples, I right now, the way that I feel, I have zero tolerance for stupid ass people who can't even reasonably think for them goddamn selves. Because see, the thing is, peoples, if Shemaya and her mother was at the Rosemont police station at 4:15 in the morning, how in the fuck could or why would we be seeing Shemaya, Monifa, and Irene Rebri still at the establishment well beyond 4:15 in the morning on September the 9th, according to the video footage? Now that's according to the video footage. You know, and it's amazing. So if the video footage is not the same date and time, well then when was it then? Because if what we're watching is not the exact date and time, well then when is the exact date and time? When? Because you can't have it both ways, peoples. I mean, either the video footage is authentic and true and is giving you the exact date end time? And if it is the exact date and time, well, then people's none of that shit makes sense. And the video footage doesn't even compare remotely close to what the case file says. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? It doesn't remotely line up with what the case file says. It doesn't even line up with what the dispatchers says, the time that it says. People's, I mean, come on now. I'm just tired of just literally talking and battling with stupid and ignorant ass people. Because see, the thing is, whenever I say something, you guys are so quick to chime out. You guys so quick to just jump into my chat and stuff and talk all of this bullshit and nonsense. But your motherfucking ass cannot even bear witness or even prove beyond the shadow of a doubt your stance. You come into my goddamn live with all of this bullshit and nonsense. But yet when I ask you to defend your narrative, you ain't got shit to say. When I put your ass up on Front Street and challenge your ass with the narrative that you're bringing, you ain't got shit to say. So I'm gonna start embarrassing people. So when you want to come to my live and you want to start, putting your little 2 goddamn cents in and stuff, get prepared for ass beating. Or forever shut the fuck up. That's just the way that I feel right now. Because see, the thing is, people's, no longer am I going to sit here and tolerate stupid ass people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because see, the thing is, people's, when I go live and I'm doing my live and stuff, I don't just talk out the side of my neck. I am showing you exactly what they said. Period. So it ain't no need in getting mad at me because I'm not going by what I say. I'm going by what they said. It's what they said. It's what's in the case files. It is what has been shown and it's what has been said. And so if what has been shown and said doesn't jive, people's, well, then goddamn it ain't Edward Joseph. So stop coming to me with all of this bullshit and nonsense and getting mad and spreading other people's theories in my goddamn live. Think for your motherfucking self. Reference the goddamn case files for yourself. Get a goddamn understanding for yourself. Watch the fucking videos for your goddamn self before you ever chime out. Because no longer am I going to tolerate in my live bullshit. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? If your fucking ass haven't watched or read the case files, if your fucking ass haven't watched the so-called surveillance videos that the Crown Plaza put out, what the fuck can you tell Edward Joseph? Absolutely nothing. You can't tell me shit. I don't give a fuck what your theory is. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck what you do. Period. And that's just the way that I feel, people. I really don't. Because at the end of the day, your ass is not here analyzing shit. All you're doing is just reacting off of feelings. I'm tired of feelings, peoples. I'm tired of feelings. I need critical thinking, meticulous thinking people to be here to converse with me. Let's analyze this, peoples. Let's analyze this. Teresa Martin says that she had Kenneka Jenkins out of her pee. Okay. But peoples, everybody make a fucking excuse why Teresa Martin cannot show a baby picture of Monifa. I mean, a baby picture of The supposed Kenneka, Lenore, or Ken Jr. She can't not produce not one baby picture in diapers, in a stroller, in anything. You know, that's the first thing. So we never seen any letter that Kenneka written, any grade school, elementary school, junior high school, or high school. We never seen any papers that Kenneka has ever written. So we don't even know what Kenneka's handwriting looks like. So TM doesn't have any type of scribbles, nothing with Kenneka's signature on it. Period. Nothing. No love letters to no boy. No handwritten note, no handwritten thing up on a letterhead or a piece of paper or an envelope or just scribbling writing. We don't have nothing. It's almost like Kenneka is just the girl who supposedly had lived and texted and made Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, and MySpace pages and Backspace pages and all like this and stuff. But there is nothing to validate who this person is. See, no other YouTuber has ever mentioned that, peoples. No other YouTuber has ever even thought upon the level to where I'm bringing it right now. And none of you who proclaim to know all about the Kenneka Jenkins case, your asses ain't never even brought this up. So say me that bullshit, peoples. See, the thing is, peoples, I look and I analyze things in a different manner. I got eagle eyes. And what my eagle eyes tell me bullshit a mile away. It's bullshit. This whole goddamn case is bullshit. That's all it is. And then you got this woman over here supposedly has been going crazy, all because she wants to try to proclaim herself as crazy. So she goes and goes and do the extreme and walk. Well, what is the whole purpose of walking naked in the street and talking about justice for Kenneka? How is that going to get justice for Kenneka? You're walking your big fat ass naked in the streets and talking about justice for Kenneka. Attention getter. And then many of you sit here and tell me that she's demonic, that she's possessed and all of this shit. People's, I can't begin to understand how ye or you all who was supposed to be so spiritual can say that this woman is possessed. And what gives you the reasons why she's possessed? Y'all hold on for a second. Well, okay, I'll get to that in a moment. What makes you guys think that Teresa Martin is possessed, peoples? Possessed by what? I hear that quite often. Teresa Martin is possessed and things like that. What is she possessed with? What, a demon? So the demon is going to tell Teresa Martin, well, hold on for being crazy because I need you to go and make a live. So I need you to orchestrate the live. So I need you to go and I need you to come in and make sure that you're streaming up on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all of the major streaming platforms. So the demon is saying, Teresa Martin, I'm not going to make you crazy yet, but I want you to go ahead and orchestrate the live. So people, let me give you the breakdown as to how you go live. You first got to have a streaming platform. You got to have a mic. You got to have either a computer or you got to have a phone. Okay. So you got to be a member of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or the likes and things. All right. You got to have internet service. Okay. So a demon is telling Teresa Martin to pay her bills to get StreamYard, to get Facebook, get Instagram, get Twitter, get YouTube or something. So the demon has enough sense to say, Teresa Martin, I need you to pay your bills. To Teresa Martin, I need you to download YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and all of these things. Okay, that's what the demon is telling Teresa Martin to do. All right, and so once you do that, I need you to go and I need you to call up the live. So you got to have a title for the live. Okay, so you got to have a camera. You got to have a microphone. You got to turn it on. You got to test the mic before you go live. You got to test the camera before you go live to make sure that the people can see what you're trying to show. Okay. So the demon is telling Teresa Martin, look, you got to have all of these things in place because see, the thing is, peoples, if you miss one of those steps, you ain't going live. You see what I'm saying? If you miss any one of these steps, you ain't going live. If you ain't got a camera, you ain't going live. If you ain't got a mic, you ain't going live. If you ain't got internet service, you ain't going live. If you didn't pay your bills, you ain't going live. If you're not a member of StreamYard, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever, you're not going live. So the thing is, peoples, it has to be some type of law and order before you can be able to go live. So the demon is telling Teresa Martin, get your house in order first before you go live. Really? So the demon that is possessing Teresa Martin is telling her, look, make sure all of these things checks out before you go live. And then when everything checks out, then I want you to go live. And I want you to go live and speak to the people. So the demon told Teresa Martin to do all of that before she went live, peoples. That is a controlled environment, peoples. That is a thought process. You got to have things in place in order to go live. You got to have these check marks. Everything that I mentioned has to be checked off before you go live. And then you got to go live. And then when you're live, you got to have the wherewithal of knowing that you are live and that you're speaking to an audience. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I mean, damn, the demon is more thoughtful and more meticulous than I thought, because that's a demon that has everything in place. I thought demons was chaotic. I thought demons was confusing. I thought demons was supposed to wreak havoc in people's lives, not make them have a checklist to check off first before they go live. You know, I mean, shit, that's a meticulous demon. A smart, savvy ass demon that is going to tell TM each and every time she goes live, this is what you have to do. And then I only want you to go live for about 10 minutes, act crazy and stuff, and then shut off the live. Well, if you possess, you ain't gonna even know that you're live. If you possess, you're not gonna even know to shut off the live or even turn on the live. If you possess, you're not gonna even know to turn on the camera or even turn on the mic. If you are possessed, you're not going to be conscious enough to be speaking in a very controlled, meticulous manner. If you possess, you're not going to say, well, hey, my name is TM, and I know what I'm talking about, and I'm not crazy. That's not possession, peoples. That is not possession. See. You know, if you ever watched a lot of these horror flicks and stuff, and you've seen these people who was really possessed, they had no control over themselves. Like The Exorcist, the girl was possessed, right? Was she in front of a camera on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, talking about? No, peoples. She was not on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, talking to the people and telling the people I'm not crazy. She was in the bed with her head twist and turn, scars all over her face, oozing madness coming out of her mouth and all like this and stuff. And she had a priest with a Bible speaking the word of God over her. That's possession. That's chaotic. It is confusion and it's disorder. It is nothing meticulous about it. She has no control over her faculties because the demon came to wreak havoc, not only with her, but everyone that surrounded her. That's possession. You can't tell me that a person knowingly going live every single day like clockwork is possessed. That's a smart ass demon. You know, that's a smart ass demon. I mean, even the person that was possessed with the legion that was in the village of the Gadarenes, and when Jesus came up the ship, the man saw him afar, and he ran to him and says, "What the?" And I'm just paraphrasing, people. It's what have thy to do with thee, Jesus? For our time is not have yet come. And Jesus has spoke, what is thy name? And the demon replied, for my name is Legion, for we are many. But see, in the Bible, it described that the man was living amongst the tombs, and the man was tormented day and night. And they tried to bound him, but he would break the chains. That's chaotic and that's confusion, peoples. He didn't stand in front of YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, snotting at the nose, burning incense at an altar, sitting over here talking about Buddha and Confucius and burning candles and you know, having voodoo dolls and sticking pins in these dolls and you know, doing witchcraft and things like that. I mean, you know, see, that's what you guys say. You guys say that she's dibbling dabbling in witchcraft. I don't know if she's dibbling dabbling in witchcraft and things. And just because she's burning candles and stuff, what does that mean? Does that mean that she's possessed? No, that means that she's making mockery of Christ. You know, She's up here talking about, well, he's my daddy and things like that. You don't address the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ as daddy. She quotes scriptures, but she don't quote them in its entirety. It's just bits and pieces of this and that and the other, and she doesn't even make complete sentences or even make sense as to what she's saying. All of that is confusing. And then she jumps from one issue to another issue to another issue to another issue to another issue. So if you're possessed people, so I mean, goddamn, that must be a dumb spirit that's in her and stuff that's making her look so goddamn stupid, more so than possessed. Because I mean, even the spirit doesn't even want to be labeled as a dumb spirit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even the spirit got class. Now, if I'm going to be demonic, let me be the Hellraiser. That's what they want to be called. Hellraiser. They want to be called demon. They want to be called demonic. They want to be called chaotic, confusion, disarray. They don't want to be called anything other than that of what they are. And you think her spitting in the phone and stuff is demonic? Really, people? Come on now. I mean, I need you guys to think about this for one moment. Now, I know that you guys are spiritual, but you may be spiritual, but I just don't believe that you have eagle eyes. See, I have eagle eyes. And with my eagle eyes see beyond the bullshit and nonsense. And it tells me that this ain't nothing but a fake, phony, and fraud because she told you with her own lips. And when people show you who they are, you need to believe them. It ain't nothing demonic about this, peoples. Now, is it spiritual? Is a spiritual warfare going on? I believe so, but not to the extent as to what one would allude to or assume. Is TTM having a spiritual battle going on? Yes, I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that the Lord is chastising her tail, whooping her tail, and trying to shed some light within her life and things. See, the Bible tells us that confession is good for the soul. The Bible tells us that we need to confess our faults to one another and pray for one another that ye may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. And so when we confess our faults one to another and we pray for one to another, we can be healed from the profession of our confession and from the profession of our faith. But it all has to do with faith, not just the confession, people. The confession is just part of it because you got to confess that you have done wrong. And once you confess that and stuff, then you pray for forgiveness. And God is faithful and just to forgive you for your sins. But you got to acknowledge that you got a problem. And if you can't acknowledge that you have a problem, well, then, I mean, it ain't nothing to be said, peoples. Do you understand what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted, people. See, the thing is simply this. See, I don't endorse everything that everybody say. I hear it, but I don't endorse it. And it really doesn't matter whether you believe what I say or not and stuff, because that's nor here or there. Because the thing is that if you ever sit down and listen to what I say, I make perfect sense in what I'm saying. And I've always break it down in a manner to which even a baby can understand. Now, if you can't understand what I'm saying, I make heads or tails on what I'm saying. I don't know what to tell you. You don't have eagle eyes. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, the thing is, people, I can take what I see and I can rationalize it in such a way to where I have a greater understanding as to what's going on. And it really doesn't take that much of an anointing to see bullshit a mile away. Do you understand what I'm saying? God has blessed me with his sixth sense. God has blessed me with eagle eyes, and God has blessed me with analytical skills. And that's the one thing that many of you don't do. Many of you guys come with all of this confession and profession and proclaiming to be X, Y, and Z and stuff, but you don't have no power. And nothing you say really holds any weight, and nothing you say really validates anything and stuff. Because I mean, truth be told, come on. Think about it, peoples. See, this is one of the reasons why the people can't battle what I say. This is one of the reasons why the people can't challenge what I say and things and stuff. This is one of the reasons why whenever people ever talk about Edward Joseph, they all the time come with personal attacks. They can never attack me upon the merits of what I'm saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? You will always come with a personal attack followed by negativity. But see, all of the personal attacks and negativity doesn't give you validity. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, the thing is, you can't break down what I say. You can't tear it down. You see what I'm saying? You can't battle me up on the merits of anything that I say because see, I'm just too analytical. You see what I'm saying? So I've heard Casey Coy Overa Sanchez Mendina yesterday, make a live and stuff, and she was trying to reference my channel. She was trying to reference my channel, and instead of challenging me upon the merits of the various things that I have ever said on my channel, you know, she wants to allude to all of this madness. And we all know who she's talking about and stuff because she made that crystal clear of who she is referencing when she speaks. We know that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out, peoples. But see, the thing is, in all of Casey Coy, Overa Sanchez Mendina, in all of the things that she tries to say and do, in all of her analytical madness, what validity has she brought out? How did she ever debunk Edward Joseph and what he said? She couldn't. She couldn't challenge me upon the merits. She couldn't challenge me upon the merits of the case and stuff. It's always coming with personal attacks. That's it. Break. Casey Cloy, Overa Sanchez Medina, break down anything that I had said in the Kenneka Jenkins case in such a way to where it validates any and everything that you ever said. She can't do it, peoples. None of the YouTubers can ever do it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is their only line of defense is to come and attack. Come and attack and attack and attack in a personal way. That's all that they can do. All right, so is my computer working? Do I got it plugged? Oh, I ain't even got it plugged up, y'all. Now, hold on for a moment. I got to plug up my computer. Ooh, and not only do I have to plug up my computer, wait, let me see. Okay, what is this? Oh, okay, that's that. That is that, and that is that. So I'm gonna have to do something different here. Okay, so I won't be able to have that on because I have to have that. So I'm gonna plug up my computer in that right there. All right, you guys gotta hold on for a moment. I gotta hook this thing up some other way, y'all. All right, people, so I'm back. I gotta get a new what do you call it? Surge protector. Gotta get a new surge protector so I can be able to hook up my computer because the other surge protector that I got, it blew out. Because when they PG&E kept playing with the power and stuff, they kept turning it off and on, and it blew up my surge protector. Uh, so I got to get a new one. All right, so I'm gonna get on my computer real quick here, and we're gonna talk about a few little things, and then I'm gonna get off of here, peoples, because I got to get up in the morning. But I enjoyed myself at my brother's birthday. For all of you who was blessed to see the live, I finally gave you a little bit of insight as to what we do and how we do it, and this is how we do it and stuff. So, you know, that was a little personal glimpse into you know, how I celebrate with my family and things and stuff. So here, let me transfer onto the computer. Yeah, hold on. All right, people, I'm back. Dang, but now this is in this mode. And here, let me click up here. I may have to just what I may have to do, peoples, is I may have to sign off of this live and come back on come back on with a different format because this is giving me the format of the way that I am on my phone, and I want a widescreen. So I may have to end this live just to come back onto the live because this is representative on my phone. Let me see if I can change the format. Manage layout. Let me see, y'all. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I can change the format. Yeah, see, this is only the format for my phone. And I don't want the format of my phone. I want a wide angle format. But I was lazy. I went live and went live on my phone. I wanted to be on my phone. I mean, now since I'm on my computer, I don't want this format. So what I'm gonna do here, people, is I'm gonna get off of here and let me see. If I can't change this layout like this, I'm gonna sign off real quick. I'm gonna sign back on, and I'm gonna see if I can change the format. Okay, it's not letting me change the format. So, peoples, I'm going to shut down this particular live. I'm going to come back with part 2 to this live. I'm going to come right back and then I'll be able to have a wider format. So, peoples, I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon today. Tune in again momentarily to when Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live, Edward Joseph Kitchen, Edward Joseph Gospel Hour, Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2025 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peoples, mask up and be safe. And again, peoples, I will be right back on live as soon as I turn on this one. Until then, peoples, you guys be blessed and get your rest, and I will see you just momentarily. God bless you all. Thank you for watching.